brute force. If it doesn't work, you're just not using enough. You're listening to SOFREP Radio, special operations military news, and straight talk with the guys in the community.
Tactical laundry for the warfighter who gives a damn. You ever try doing laundry in the field? Buckets, canteens, beating your boxers against a rock like you're living in biblical times? Forget that noise. The Scrubba wash bag has a patented internal washboard. Think of it like your gear going 3 rounds with Mike Tyson. It's field tested by units like the 73rd Cav, FBI Rapid Response, and even DevGru. Yeah, that DevGru. And it's not just a laundry bag. It's a dry bag, water bucket, morale boost, and hygiene insurance policy all in one. 2 shirts, 2 socks, 2 undies per load, enough to survive a 3-day recon without turning into a biohazard. Scrubba. It's not sexy, but neither is jungle rot. The host of SOFREP Radio, and I have another awesome episode for you to listen to. And if you're watching on any of the platforms like YouTube, then you're gonna watch this interview and it's gonna go down as one of the best, because I already have a good vibe about it. But first, before I introduce you to my guest, who you've already seen in the title, I want to talk to you about what? The merch store. That's right. We have branded goods. We got the new Operator Playboy coffee mug that you can check out. We got the new branded equipment from SOFREP that has the name all over everything. So feel free to keep tagging us on the internet, and that is at sofrep.com/merch. The second thing that we always bring up is, say it with me, the book club. That's right. So if you're a first-time listener or viewer, welcome aboard. We have a book club that is sofrep.com/book-club. And for those of you that are already following and been a part of the book club, thank you so much. We enjoy curating the library of books that you get to choose and read, and they all come from behind the scenes with guys from snipers to special forces who are like, read this book. It's 123 Sesame Street. Read it. Green Beret said so. So listen, check out that book club, okay? Read a book. Use your brain. The book is the gym for your brain. Now, my next guest runs Veteran MX Foundation. It's a 501c3, and his name is Peter Linquist. And welcome to the show, Peter.
Hey, thanks, Rad, for having me here. It's a pleasure, and I'm excited to spread the word about our foundation and what we do.
Right, and so this may just be like, where did you come from? How did you meet Rad? How come we're talking to you? And well, let's start off at the beginning real quick. So first of all, you're a young man. You're in high school. I like to bring this out of everybody that's on the show. And at what point in your life did you feel like, oh, I should swear an oath to protect the Constitution and fellow Americans and those in need? Right? Honestly, that's what we do. How old were you when you decided to join the Marine Corps?
So I believe 19 years old. I was a little bit after high school. I was starting my job and my career and stuff, and then as everybody knows, 9/11 happened.
Yes.
And I did not want to be one of those guys just sitting on the couch watching what's happening. I felt like we were attacked, and so I made the decision to join the Marine Corps. And all the time people thank me for my service, but really it was an honor for me to be able to serve this country. And so that's why I went in. It was 9/11, and I wasn't putting up with with all the bullshit.
And being bullied as an American in that aspect, seeing somebody come and do such a heinous act on a vulnerable target, so vulnerable, so many. It's not like it was guarded with SAM sites, surface to air missiles, and it was an objective with military troops on top of the roof protecting it with snipers, but nonetheless, you get what I'm saying. It was like Cantor Fitzgerald employees and American Express building next to the building that collapsed because it collapsed, and all of these people running down the streets that we watched as you were being infected with I'm going to serve. All of a sudden it's just like, this is something that called you to arms. Now, Well, boy, I was in bed when 9/11 happened. My dad came up and woke me and my girlfriend up at the time, my wife now today, and said, hey, turn the TV on. So we flipped the TV on and we saw the first smokestack coming out of the first tower. And at that point, he's like, yeah, look what happened. And this was about 8 something in the morning. And my mom came upstairs. And the next thing I know, boom, the second one hit. And my dad looked at me, and he's a former Green Beret. And I had just gotten out of the Air Force medically. And he looked at me, he's like, we're under attack. That's exactly what he said. We are under attack. Those words out of my dad's mouth never ring more truer than stay awake in church. I was like, oh, he's for real. It's like, we just went under attack. And so at that point, you had to feel the same vibe.
Yeah, and for a lot of people that didn't live that experience, they don't understand really how much that brought everybody as an American together. And it's sad that we don't see that nowadays. I wish we could all be together like we were on 9/11, and it's sad that it took an attack like that on us to bring us together. But that's why I joined. That's why I wanted to go with my brothers and sisters to be a part of this.
And so when you went into the Marine Corps, did you go for the numbers I've learned is 0311 as an infantryman, or a saw gunner, which is like a 60, 03, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30?
So I was actually, I was a recruiter's favorite kind of recruit. I was living in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was from Canton, Ohio, which is up north. And I called the recruiter in Canton, Ohio. I said, hey, I'm packing my bags. I'll be there tomorrow to do whatever I got to do to get in. And I went in as an open contract. I told them, I don't care where you put me, just send me. I'm ready to go. Yep. So I went through boot camp, went through SOI. I got
School of Infantry, right? That's where you went through School of Infantry's SOI. And
that's when they told me I was going to be an 0331, which is a machine gunner.
Yeah. Okay.
And after SOI, they actually were like, we need LVS operators. You're going to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri for LVS school. I'm like, hey, whatever you guys need me to do, I'm yours.
What's an LVS? Maybe I should know this.
It's a logistics vehicle system. So it's a pretty decent sized vehicle. It's bigger than like the 7 tons and all that. And it's the steering is done by hydraulics. It's articulates instead of it's got like pistons in the back to be able to articulate. And there's all kinds of different attachments that you can put to the rear of that. You can shoot missiles from the back. You can.
It's not a HEMTT.
Cargo. No, it's LVS. We were called the Dragon Masters.
No
we
kidding.
were an LVS operator. And so once I got to done with that, they were like, okay, you went through LVS school. Now you're going to be back to being with the grunts because that's where they needed me again. So again, I just went and did what I was told. I put the lotion on the skin.
Yes. And I am looking at it. It's it's an Oshkosh vehicle.
Yes.
Right? And so it does have that front windshield look to it, which is like kind of slanted. It reminds me of a HEMTT, but I can see the attachments on here. And, go check it out. Just Google Oshkosh LVS, and you can see this machine that, Peter was in charge of operating. And you can see why it needed to have the different types of hydraulics to shift it. It's a big vehicle. It's a crazy looking vehicle. Let me see if... Well, here it is on my camera right there for anybody watching. If you can kind of see it right there, there's some LVSs. Very cool. And then you went back to 0311 grunting with the saw or the 60 and machine gunning.
The 50 cal machine gun.
50.
And so from there, I got sent over to Okinawa, Japan. And in Okinawa, our duty station was not getting sent to Iraq because of Korea, of course, and our positioning there. So I went to Iraq as a volunteer, and I went to Iraq as a volunteer. and they what was called an augment position. So I didn't have like an actual uh, group I was with. I kind of got bounced around to wherever they needed.
Like a medic would. Sometimes
Yeah.
the medics are there and they're like, oh, hey, you're going with this unit. They're like, okay, cool, I'm a medic. You're like,
Yep.
where do you need me? Oh, you're going with this group. You're like, okay, cool, I got the 50.
Yep. I was like a medic, but totally opposite.
The total opposite. The pills you were dealing.
Yeah, and that
Bro.
that was a tough situation mentally and
Fallujah? Are you a Fallujah? In
Fallujah, 04 and 05.
first wave into Fallujah?
Yes, sir.
Oh, with my friend's dad, Lopez. He went in with that same group. He's here in Utah. One of my employees, his dad was hardcore Fallujah. Doesn't really ever talk about it. He's very reserved, but we love him nonetheless. Yeah. So you went through Fallujah, literally a hot spot. Door to door. That was you. So when I see these camera crews that are like embedded, with these Marines and everybody going through all of these different buildings in that first wave, it was so popular on TV, right? Everybody had an embedded combat press journalist who went through some kind of a boot camp for war, and now they're deployed with a Kevlar helmet and body armor on that says press. And when you push on that press, it doesn't do nothing.
Yeah. Doesn't say that was easy, that's for sure.
Yeah, press. I'm pressing on it. What do you do? What's your special function? Press. So, I mean, did you have anybody embedded with you guys that was...
Yeah, well, like I said, I actually got bounced around, so I wasn't with one unit the whole time in Iraq. I would actually get put wherever they needed me, which was kind of a tough position because usually I was going to fill in for somebody who is not there anymore. So
yeah,
it was.
My buddy's dad was also a machine gunner.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of Marines, and there was a lot of Marines inside of Fallujah that were doing their job from a lot of the different units, right? You guys had so many that were just all working together. Wow, man, what a phase line to be in.
Yeah.
You guys are like, oh, where are you at? Fallujah. Oh,
Yeah.
what's going on? That's boring. Nothing,
Yeah,
Mom?
nice.
I'm fine. No, we're just on the outskirts. Yeah,
It sounds about the letters I was sending home. No, everything's good here. Just another day at work and just
Marine Corps.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Well, first of all, props to you for finding the call to serve. Okay. Today's listener that might be on the fence about joining, I like to hear this from my guests who have served. Like, what was it that tipped you to go? Some are like, hey, I just wanted to get a Lexus payment. I'm like, wait, what? Like, how many 17-year-olds do you know that had a Lexus? And I was like, none. And they're like, exactly. And I was like, okay, so there's their reason. And then others had reasons like, oh, hey, you saw something violently happen to our America, and that impacted you wholly to join not just the military, but the Marine Corps. All right. Now,
Hey,
the military.
if you're gonna do it right.
I'm just going to say, right, I have so much respect for the Marine Corps. Growing up an Army kid, my dad was always like, oh, Marines, their uniforms look good in caskets. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Dad's Army, so I got that same mantra. But as I've gotten older and I've met some master guns in my life, and I've met some other young Marines who were able to join the Army because they were colorblind, but the Marine's like, come here.
Yeah.
Can you tell this tan versus this tan? No, you're in. And you're like, wait. So, I see the love they gave my buddy who was never given anything from other branches. Like they said, you can't join. All he wanted to do was be Army military police. No. So what does he become? 0311, okay, 5'2", out rucking everybody, breaking his ankles up those mountains to graduate. And now today he gets to be the MP part because now he is like a detective for our Utah Highway Patrol here.
Nice.
So he kind of gets both of that original, I wanted to be Army MP. The Marine Corps took him in and said, you can be infantry here. And I was like, wow, okay, cool, man. If you're out there and you're feeling a little like, oh, maybe you're colorblind and the Army won't take you, then why don't you look at the Marine Corps and see if they'll take you, right? Go talk to a career counselor, see if it's the best thing for you. Because there's a lot of romance in the military. There's a lot of, the heroics that we hear or read about that are pushed into the movies and the screens that make us want to go join the military. And once you get there, you might find that Fallujah was very active and was very door to door, and friends do not come back. But, like you said, you were there to take over for someone else who took that same oath that you took. And, thank you. So I just want to say, if you're out there thinking about joining, go take the next step and talk to somebody at the career counselors at the Marine Corps or wherever you're going to go visit, and just ask them what they can do for you. Because if you don't take the next step, you'll never know. You'll just be like, oh, maybe I can't get in, Maybe there's no waiver for me. You just got to ask.
And also, if I may add, if
Please.
you're going to join and you do join, think very, very, very highly of yourself, because there is not a lot of people that are willing to do that. And so if you're even thinking about it, you are an amazing individual, and I hats off to you.
Dude, even my daughter, she's at school right now. She's at University of Oregon. Go Ducks. But good job, Ohio. But nonetheless, she was talking to me. She's like, I don't know about ROTC. And I was like, what? I was like, whoa, here I am, like, pitching join the military. And then my own daughter's like, Dad, I'm thinking about ROTC. Well, there's a lot of benefits that go along with getting into that program. Schooling, a direction, learning how to do things for others, selfless. You have to fall in. 100%. You got to fall into the machine, though. You got to get into the machine. You got to become a cog inside the machine's, working mechanisms to do that. So, good luck, Sydney. Make your choices. I'm not forcing nothing off of you. If she wants it, her grandfather's a Green Beret. My father-in-law, her grandpa on that side is a Marine from Vietnam. My dad would always call him a Remington Raider because he was the type, he knew how to type. Mm. And so they needed somebody that could type so bad. If you've seen Saving Private Ryan, it's like, just bring this pencil, but you're doing all of this.
Yeah.
Holy cows. So how long did you spend in? Did you just do like a 4 or 6 year plot? Did you go a little longer?
Yeah, so on my second tour to Iraq, I was injured in a Humvee explosion, which got me a med-sep out. I'm 100% disabled through the VA. And so that kind of ended my career a lot quicker than I planned.
Yeah.
But everything happens for a reason, and I'm here doing what I love, which is racing motocross, spending times with my veterans, and helping other veterans.
And I'm sure that your veteran friends that come up to you find out that there was an explosion with your Humvee. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Do you have more to tell about, like the morning of?
So we were running QRF, which is Quick Reaction Forces, and when I went out, and we knew we were going into a firefight. That's why they needed us. And we just, throughout our whole time there, we ran over 20 different IEDs, and we're just lucky, and none of them really messed anybody up. But this last one, it did damage, and luckily for me, I was a 50 cal machine gunner, so I was standing out of the turret, and that's what saved my life, because out of the 3 guys in that vehicle, I was the only one who survived.
Sorry about that.
It's made me who I am today. It's my mission. I was sent on this earth to help people, and it's made my ability to do that even stronger, because we all struggle. We've all been through trauma. It doesn't mean you don't even have to, military or not, we all have been through trauma, and that experience allowed me to understand that we all share the same emotions, and no matter the trauma, the emotions are the same, the feelings are the same, and it makes me stronger at what I'm doing now, and pushing forward.
Would you like to give a shout out to those that were lost in that vehicle so that they're on this podcast forever?
Yeah, Winchester Mounts, you guys are always with me, and will always be with me, and it's you guys are looking down on me, making sure that I'm staying on track, doing what I need to do to help others, because I know that's what they would want too, is to help others. A lot of selfless people in the Marine Corps.
100%. You know, they may seem so tough, okay, and like so leather. You know, they always like to answer with the word kill. You know, you love your baby, kill. You love your mama, kill. Okay. But yeah, that means they do love their mama, and that means that they love their baby, and they do have the same red blood that bleeds through all of us, and are human beings. Marine Corps, yeah, Marine Corps. Yes, you could be. You're a human. I know there's a machine again, the cog in the wheels and all that. You're that cogs. You're actually like the blade. You're like the razor. You're like the stone that sharpens the blade. How would I explain the Marine Corps, man? You're like death.
The first one's in, last one's out.
That's it. Okay. If they're on your porch, my dad would tell me, we didn't call SEALs and we didn't call anybody else to extract us out of a situation where they were like trying not to be picked up, that they are an SF team in areas. They would call in the Marine Corps because they said the Marine Corps just come in and make a lot of noise and just like, you know, and just like, and they just get out from that situation. So they would always call in the Marines to like cover them while they got out, whatever it was. That's what he would tell me.
We're not called devil dogs for no reason.
Seriously, dude. I mean, I've driven on Basilone Road at Pendleton, and there's just like this ominous vibe driving there, you know, of why that road's named what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and what he had to do for the Medal of Honor, and what he had to do to go back into the Marine Corps to continue fighting, where he finally did it a second time and finally perished on, you know, some godforsaken island to him, you know, Marine Corps, bro. And my father-in-law, Elliot, you know, he's still alive. He's 84.
Doing good.
Dude, I'll tell you, yeah. So far, I told my wife all the time, I was like, look at your longevity. Look at my dad's. I'll see you later. But, you know, let's talk about motocross, okay? Because there are a ton of folks who use this app, like track app out here in Utah. Mm-hmm. My buddy only rides single roads. He doesn't want anything a quad can go on. He doesn't want anything that another 4x wheel can try to hit him. He just wants straight dirt bike roads. So he likes to go enduro off-road everywhere in the mountains. Veteran dude, you know, it clears his head. You know, it's just him, his bike, the trail.
You know, it's the only time you can really actually just shut off everything around you. All you're paying attention to is what's in front of you.
You have to live.
And a lot of veterans need that. A lot of veterans, I know myself, I struggled for many years just shutting off everything around me. And so I raced motocross growing up. It was always been a passion of mine. After I was injured in Iraq, I truthfully didn't think I was going to be able to get back on the bike again due to a lot of physical injuries.
Sure.
And once I did, though, it saved my life. Throttle therapy has saved my life.
Throttle therapy. See, and around here at SOFREP.com, Brandon Webb runs the place. He has this mantra. It's thrills before pills, you know? So whether he likes to ski and fly airplanes and surf and skateboard and, you know, just thrills before the pills, right? And so it's like, you know, when you go to the VA and they're telling you, oh, here, let me just prescribe some lithium for you. Let me just prescribe some, you know, of this stuff, some Zoloft, whatever the case is, all these different meds. And, you know, I do believe in science, and I do believe in medical prescriptions for certain things, like my cholesterol. I take a statin for my heart already, okay? I'm on a pill, but 99% of the time, I'm either in the gym trying to beat up a boxing bag or trying to get that like life-threatening skill down, or we're snowboarding. My wife and I are in the mountains snowboarding, trying to stay alive, right? Through the trees and stuff, like hardcore. And just like my buddy and like you, riding a motorcycle, you're into motocross, so that's a lot more where you have like, I think of the 1986 game where you had to like,
Excite Bike.
Excite Bike, yeah, that's you. You're Excite Bike.
Yeah,
you know, you're like.
I love it. It's the I used to do the single trails, and I used to do a lot of just off-road racing through the woods. For you go for an hour with a GNCC series on the East Coast is what I used to race, and then. After my injury and got back into it, I decided I want to get back onto racing the tracks because Actually, I was racing GNC out in North Carolina and wrapped myself around a tree pretty good, and realized that they don't have trees on the tracks.
And trees don't
So,
move.
yeah. So I went back to racing on the tracks, and then when I moved out to California about 8 years ago, and just been racing motocross on all different kinds of tracks, all up and down the state here, Nevada, Arizona.
It'd be cool to ride it on the beach. I see like, videos of people on their motorcycles on the beach, things like with the waves coming up, you're like, boom.
Yeah,
I've not experienced that. I'm only like, that would be cool in Cali.
yeah. There's some good spots out here. I definitely don't live here for the politics or the cost of living. That's for
Oh
sure.
yeah, no, I get it. You're there for Hollywood. I know what
Yeah.
it's all about. Yeah, you're just looking for your star on the Walk of Fame. You're working at
Someday,
it.
someday.
We all are. It's okay. Once it's there, we'll be like, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
My fans want it.
Yeah, so I got back into riding, and then when I moved out here, so I was actually riding a lot with another disabled vet who was had a lot of time on his hands also. So we were doing a lot of riding in North Carolina, and then when I moved out to California, I was still riding, had a group of guys I was riding with, but none of them were veterans, and it was different. I love being able to share that moto lingo, but with that military banter. And once I found the Veteran MX Foundation and came on board with these guys, it was a life changing experience, man.
Now, the Veteran MX Foundation, you specifically work with veterans to get into the motocross and, to help them get better at the skill, whether they're, needing some type of like an adapted system. Is there adapted riders?
So, Veteran MX Foundation, we host ride days. We're a nationwide foundation. We right now I think have like 12 or 1300 members around the nation,
Oh,
a
that's
couple
good.
overseas, and everybody that's a part of our foundation is an owner of the foundation, and you get in what you get out of it what you put in, meaning that we're constantly raising money and doing other things, and so one of our big things is we do ride days where we bring in all the vets that are in the area. If you have new friends, bring them in, and normally another person has an extra bike or
Yeah,
something
bring a
like that.
friend. Yeah.
And it's really not even so much the riding aspect, but more about just hanging out in the pits and sharing our stories and just that camaraderie. But we do ride days. We host clinics where we'll bring in pro riders to help us with techniques and getting better on the bike. And then we also do a big championship, which I'm actually the director of, and that's out in Mays, Kansas, at Bar to Bar MX. And that's a week-long event that is completely free for our veterans. We raise enough money where we provide breakfast and dinner, all the camping fees, race entry fee. We have three different race entry fees that we pay for. Um, and out of those race entry fees, there we have 20, I think it's like 23, 24 different classes that are military only. So you're on the gate with all military guys, and it's a lot of smack talk going on there.
It's like, eat my dust, sir.
Yeah. And one of the best races we have is called the Battle of the Branches race.
I love it.
And that's the Marines against it's all the different
Everybody against the
services.
Marines.
Pretty much, well, we won it last year, and we plan on retaining that title.
Yes.
And so, yeah, if you want it, come get it. But
Yeah.
no, it's one of my favorite races just because everybody is out there, no matter your skill set. We do several gate drops to make it safe as possible. Um, and it's just an amazing experience to look up and down these roads and or down the gate and see all these different guys from all different different eras in the service and different branches, and it's amazing. And we also, with that event, team up with another nonprofit called MotoDemption, who has the adaptive bikes, have the roll cage. They're all hand controls. So we get
Awesome.
fully paraplegics on there. And
Like
I'll
a
tell
double
you what,
amputee can still operate it because it's been configured.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And
that's
we have
awesome.
spotters that go around with them. So when they're ready to stop, we're off our bikes ready to catch them so they're not falling over.
I love that.
And I'll tell you what, man, like when those guys get on that bike for the first time, and even if they're just going around a field and they come back to the pits, the tears of happiness in their eyes, there is nothing like that.
It's
Those
freedom.
guys, think about it, they can't go that fast in a wheelchair. You know
No,
what I mean?
they
Like,
want that to be their wheelchair. They're like, bro,
right? Yes.
bro. This can get me through the VA so quick.
Yep.
Those long tunnels, done.
So a funny thing is, we actually built a sidecar
I
for
love
one
it.
of the dirt bikes, and we debuted it at I want to say it was in Tampa Bay for the Supercross that they hosted out there. And the veteran that came out was looking at the sidecar, looking at the bike. He's like, I don't want to be in the sidecar. I want to ride the bike.
Yeah.
And we told him, hey, get on the bike, let's do this. And it was awesome, man. Like just the like again, just the happiness and everything that comes out of it, it makes everything so worth it.
I think we should like key in Black Rifle Coffee right about now and like some sponsorships and like Travis Pastrana. Because what you're talking to me, I just for some reason envision a ramp at the end of the jump that this guy is riding a motorcycle with a sidecar on, like Nitro Circus or something, just like going off of it. That's the first thing I think of. And then I think of my buddy in California who's a part of the Sidecar Club. And he has like the vintage style World War II looking sidecar motorcycle. And there's a whole bunch of them that are in SoCal that are the Sidecar Club. And so they go driving around on that same type of thing, you know, like what you're saying. They get together, they go drive their sidecars. He has his dog in his sidecar with the goggles. He has like
That's
a pit,
awesome.
like a bulldog, just tongue hanging out,
Hey,
bro.
Bulldog, I have three of them, and it's because they are the Marine Corps mascot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do
They're
know.
and they snore and fart just like any other Marine I know.
Their tongue's just like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like, what are you gonna go eat? What anything you want?
Right? Oh man.
Oh, dude,
But
that's
no, it's
awesome, dude.
what we do is awesome. You know, we're it's again about the camaraderie, being able to share those stories together. Because when you're out doing something like this, and you come together like that, it really does allow you to maybe talk about something you've
Yeah,
been holding in for a long time, and now you're around all these guys that share that passion for motocross, but also have that military banter and understand. Because as a lot of vets will tell you, nobody understands, and we can't expect any civilian to understand what we go through. We live a totally different life than those that don't serve, and we carry a lot of that with us throughout our lives, with the good and the bad. And so it's really important to be able to have a group that you can share something that may be bothering you, and
yeah.
it's just you know that's what we do.
No, I love it. And who are you looking for to reach out to you? You know, like what's that typical, hey, this, you know, veterans MX, I motocross, I'm a veteran, you know, 40% disability, or maybe no disability, just I'm a veteran, you know, what's the path for them? Who are you looking for? Who comes to you?
So not just veterans. We have active duty members that are they're you know part of our foundation, and members of ours, and you know anybody that if you're even interested in getting on a bike and seeing what it does for you, hit us up on veteranmx.com. Come on out. We'll get you to you know try to set you up with a local event that we have going on again, because we have ride days and clinics all over the nation. Come out to Kansas for the week. We'll, just because you're not on a bike and just want to hang out with us, come out. We'll provide, a place for a safe environment for you to come and just be with other veterans that get it.
Yeah, 100%, and boy, what veteran. All of a sudden I'm just thinking of Rambo, okay, on his motorcycle in Rambo First Blood Part 1, okay, where he's like getting away from the sheriff on his Honda going up the rocks on the mountain. I mean, veterans on motorcycles. There's one right there, okay, Rambo. Let's go. Okay, another veteran on a motorcycle right here, Peter, aka Rambo. Let's go. Okay, you guys are all Rambos, right? You all encompass that to me, and the name is for men and women, okay? Because there's women Rambos, men Rambos. I just see them all just hardcore. And you got ladies riding?
We have a couple of female veterans that are racers in our group, and I can't beat them. So
right.
They are hardcore, man. So no matter what you are, who you are, if you're a veteran, come out, be a part of this, because it's amazing. It's
So what are you riding? Like a Yamaha 450 or 500 or what? What are you riding? What are you doing? 250 Kawasaki water cool green? What are you riding?
So I'm part of the green machine. I got Kawasaki 450s that I rip. Looking someday to maybe get a Stark Var, because that's the new electric bikes. Not that I would ever sell my gas bikes. I love the smell of the exhaust. I love the vibration of the motor.
Sure.
But those electric bikes nowadays, the torque on those, you just rip it, and you're heading 120 foot over that jump, man.
Oh, immediately. See, my buddy that does ride a lot of trails out here, he has a Talaria, like the electric bike that's like almost a motorcycle. But then another colleague of mine has what you're talking about, and that's his commuter. And
wow.
Yeah. He rides to work on it all the time. It's licensed and all that. He's got his plate and he wears his helmet. Thank you. But dude, when he leaves, he's just like, you're like, hello?
Yeah, right.
Like, I thought loud pipes save lives. I thought I'm supposed to hear the blah, 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 blah next to my car so I don't run you over. But you're just like, just so the quietest sound you could possibly think of. And he's just gone into traffic.
Yeah, I'm an engine guy. I actually even have a check engine light tattoo on my wrist, and that's to help me regulate myself and my emotions when my PTSD might be getting a little flared up, and I just need to check myself,
I always say I don't have a check engine light, so I have to go get my heart checked on my own. It's like no one's telling me. And that's why I'm even on that pill I was telling you about, because I went to get pre-checked, because nothing's like dinging on me. I don't got a washer fluid empty. I don't got blinker fluid empty. I don't have a check engine light on my wrist.
When this thing starts lighting up, then I'll definitely be going to the doctor.
Yo, bro. Dude, it would be cool if it was made with that glow in the dark.
Right?
Yeah, and you can
maybe I can do that a little later.
You can have it go over it. Yeah, just have it go over it, right? And then you can like put the UV light over it. You're like, oh yeah, that's what's up. Bro, you're so cool, dude. And so your goal is just to make others feel comfortable in their own skin, doing something that they may not be used to doing, or that they loved to do that they stopped doing because maybe they did get injured. Maybe they did think like, oh, I got to stop riding my motorcycle because, I don't want to hurt myself because my job requires me to be healthy, but I'm out now, or, all these different things. You're just there to make sure they have a good time.
Yeah, and our three main pillars of the foundation is therapy, community, and accessibility. And as a member of our foundation, we make sure accessibility is a big thing. So we have a ton of sponsors throughout the motocross industry to help you. Motocross is not a cheap sport.
No.
So if we can help you make it more feasible, then we have tons of discount codes with all kinds of different companies, Fly Racing, 60 helmets, Henson clutch. Henson is like 50% off right there. So like we try to make it accessible for everybody. And that's one thing we do at the championship is we actually rent, and this is the championship out in Mays, Kansas. We rent 22 campers from McConnell Air Force Base and bring them out there to house guys that don't have a camper or sleeping in a tent and don't want to do that or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's really about the community, the therapy, and the accessibility.
That's really cool, bro. And I'm on your app right now, or on the website. It's really easy to thumb scroll, and it's almost like you thought about it being on a phone as well. So I mean,
Oh,
it
people
says
use computers still?
that's a thing. Hello, what happened to the typewriter? And it's just, and what I like, it probably says it in reverse here because I'm backwards, but it says that others may ride, and that right there just says a lot. The pararescue has that others may live as a mantra. You guys have that others may ride as a mantra. Veteran Motocross Foundation empowers veterans struggling with the physical and mental scars of service to leverage the benefits of motocross. And let me just read the why us. At Veteran Motocross Foundation, we offer a unique blend of lifestyle enrichment and recovery for veterans. Through the exhilaration of motocross, we empower veterans to overcome physical and mental challenges that they may face. Our expert instructors guide veterans through the process of learning a new skill, fostering discipline, resilience, and healing. Join us to discover the transformative power of motocross today. And you can just go hit the About Us on your webpage, Community Therapy Accessibility, the gallery. I think that is you in the gallery, yeah, bro. And there's memberships and benefits, and I would encourage you to go check out veteranmx.com. Veteran MX. I say it like I'm in Utah. Veteran. It's veteranmx.com. Right? And I did it while I'm just sitting here talking with Peter. So you can easily, while you're listening right now, just say, oh, let me open a new window and just check it out while you're listening to the show. I mean, really, and you might be interested. And again, like he said, everybody from all walks of life can participate in this. Let's say that you had asthma as a young man and you could never join. But you would have been the best, but you have asthma, but no one let you. And then there's this guy that's an empty shell next to you. You're like, how did you get here? I'd rather have the kid with asthma. Okay, so it's like that kid with asthma can still help participate in your culture, right? He can still like be on the course as like safety or something like that, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you're looking for
we're always looking for help and volunteers. It's anybody, any help, any kind of support is support, and
yes.
that's what we appreciate. We're just out there trying to have a good time and bring some happiness, put some smiles on some guy's face or girl's face that really deserve to smile, man.
And my friend Christian is that kid who had asthma, who wanted to join the military, and they were like, you got asthma. But you would never think he had asthma with the way he operates in his daily life. You're like, he could totally be in the military, dude. But there's this thing. I'm just saying. So we just want to include everyone. And he would be that exact person who I'm thinking of, who'd be like, oh, there's a group that needs some assistance. Where can I go help out at? That Boy Scout mentality. And so, boy, bro, the Marine Corps bleeds through you. I feel it. And, you got 3 bulldogs. That's even doper. And, your motocrossness. Can I ask you, just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying about your injury? You said you had to overcome your injury to ride. What was your injury that you sustained in that that vehicle?
So obviously my whole back's messed up, hips, feet. I've had several surgeries on ankles, reconstructive surgeries, stuff like that. But probably one of the biggest ones was my TBI, the
Yeah.
brain injury, and that I've kind of had to relearn how to do a lot of different things, and that's been a big one. But also PTSD. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
want just not wanting to like PTSD. It can really just overtake your life. There was years that went by that I didn't get off my couch. I would sleep all day. I would be on guard all night. Like it's the mental health is just as damaging and important as your physical health.
100%.
And 20 years later, I'm still doing the work to keep my mental health there. I actually, about a week ago, for 2 weeks, I spent 2 weeks in a program called Operation Mend. That's through the Wounded Warrior Project down at UCLA. Go Bruins. And but it came to a point where, I needed to. It's easier to help others than it is to help yourself.
Yeah.
But
Isn't
if
it?
you're not taking care of yourself, you can't really help others. So I had to take some time away and go put myself in check. And I'm glad I did, because now I'm back here rocking and rolling and ready to make a difference in this world.
That's right, dude. And you're a giver, and that's what you're kind of saying. It's hard to be someone who wants to take something when you're such a giver. So, like, I use this analogy all the time, and it's when you get on the plane and they say, put your mask on you first, and then help the person or the kid next to you, because you do no good without your own oxygen on.
Right.
And so, you want to fix everybody, but you need to have it on too. Right, your oxygen needs to be on. So as a giver, myself, I feel I'm a very much like, oh, I'm good. Here, you can have my water. I'm good. No, it's good. I should probably have some of that water.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people are, especially service members, because that's one of the big reasons we join, is we want to help others, and we want to be able to protect others. And yeah, it's again, like, you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. But I
Yeah.
also wanted to add, with our event in Kansas, and that is in September. It's September 14th through the 21st. Not only is it open to veterans and active duty military, let's just say military, from Monday through Thursday. It's military only. But if you want to come out and support in some kind of way, help us out as a civilian, we're always looking for help there.
Photographers, maybe
Yeah,
somebody that could take a snappy picture of these vets as they're busting
yeah,
dirt.
big
Yeah.
whips over the
Yeah, that's
jumps.
what I'm saying, in the pit turning.
But
Yeah.
on Thursday evening, they open it up to the public, and then so we race Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have a class for everybody. And not only are we doing our racing, but this event is in conjunction with the Kansas State Motocross Championship. So anybody can come and race that race, and not just race that race, but really enjoy seeing what we're doing as veterans. Get to see the adaptive guys out with one leg.
Probably
I
vendors.
Yeah, vendors, all that stuff. And I'll tell you a quick story real quick.
Yeah, please.
I was racing with one of my adaptive guys, Chance, clearly, and we were going over a jump. He's got a prosthetic leg,
Oh, boy.
and we were going over a jump. This is in a race, and I look over, and his leg came off. So he wrecked when he landed, because he's trying to balance on only one leg. And I come around the turn, like, I start to stop, because I'm like, do I stop and help him out? Like, or do I
Right.
keep going? We're in a race. And he's like, go, go, go.
I'm good, bro.
And then next, I see him hopping, hopping around, grab his leg, he put it back on. But it's such an amazing event. It's so much fun. It's just, this whole foundation is just brought so much joy to me. Not only to help myself because of all the guys and girls that are a part of it, but to be able to help others too. Like, it's amazing.
That's awesome. I love that story. I love the fact that in my mind I just see his leg kind of like probably like up there with him, like he's like looking over like
Yeah.
it's like, is that my leg? You're like, is that your leg?
I was not expecting that. Like, I was like, oh shit, his leg just fell off.
Dude, I mean, and sometimes those legs have like to be charged, or else they like will stiffen up, and then they're walking like the pirate all the time. It doesn't have that kink in it. So, bro, I can only imagine what a prosthetic would have to be like for motocross. It's got to be a little bit more like carbon fiber industrial.
Well, I don't know if he's got like a specific one for motocross,
Now he does.
Yeah, if not, you
Chance.
should. But like again, we teamed up with MotoDemption. They're an awesome nonprofit also that have the adaptive bikes. They come out to Kansas. We do clinics with those guys also, and it's just to see all these people coming together for one big cause, and that's just to put happiness into others' lives.
I love it. And if you want to experience the Veteran MX way, you can visit the website at veteranmx.com, and you can learn all about the Kansas ride that's going down in September. And you can, reach out through email and say, hey, I'm in Kansas, big Chiefs fan or Royals fan or whatever's in Kansas.
And that's just our September event. We've got
that's just September.
events that go on throughout the throughout the year. We're set up. We have a booth set up at all the pro races for Supercross and outdoor series. So if you're at one of those races, come find our booth either in Vendor Row or down in the pits, and come say hi.
And let me bring this up now. Is there? I think I saw like a member ranking, like you can join as a member for like $20, or there's like a fee to be a member. Like anybody
Yes.
can kind of be a member and support Veterans MX, right?
So the way it works is members are going to be military only.
Okay.
And that membership, that $20 is to allow us to be able to keep our mission going without relying on a lot of donations. So if you're a civilian, the donating that's what we need. That's how we keep our mission afloat.
An endowment, bro. You need an endowment to come your way and be like, here, this should help keep you going for 3 to 5 years.
That would be awesome. And
if there's someone out there that can write up an endowment for him for Veterans MX, just let them know that you did it because of SOFREP and this conversation, and you heard it here, and you're like, hey, you know what, you guys, this was really moving me, and I have money that I have to get rid of because of taxes.
Hey, we're a 501c3, so it's a tax
I'm just saying,
for everybody.
Either pay it off to the man, or you can give it and be the man. Yep. Okay, so there is a way that you're still spending it, even though it's got to go somewhere. So you either spend it in a place where you want it to go, or it's going to get taken from you.
Exactly.
Okay, because you have to file all that at the end of the year. So I'm plugging you for You're not doing it. You didn't say that. That's me. This is Rad saying it. Okay.
Rad's a rad dude. That's for
sure. Dude, you're a radical dadical. How about that, huh?
Oh, that's hilarious. But we do a membership fee, and that's $20 a year for the vet to pay or the active duty guy to pay. But I'll tell you what, with all the discount codes we have, you're going to need a new pair of boots. You're going to need a new helmet. Right. You're going to need whatever.
Goggles. Yep.
You buy one thing, and that $20 is already paid for itself. So, yeah, it's $20 out of the veteran's pocket, but you use any of our services, and believe me, it's well worth the $20. And
it's like, how many veterans out there buy bottled water? Just stop buying bottled water and put $20 into the Veterans MX and then go back to buying your bottled water. Just, hold off on that. You got water in the tap. You can drink out of the tap. Drink the water out of the tap. You don't need razor water. You don't need it anymore. Calm down. It's okay. It's okay.
Now they have the water in the beer-looking can, Liquid Death or something. Yeah. You're like, what are you drinking, man? What are you drinking and driving? And you're like, no, it's water.
Tastes like a Coors Light, but it doesn't have any alcohol. I just don't understand. They got root beer now. I have root beer and Dr. Death, which is supposed to be their version of the doctor version of the pepper. And hey, 2 grams of sugar. If you're not, if you're diabetic, it's like diet. It's actually pretty good. Okay, Liquid Death, get involved with Veterans MX. How about that? Let me shout you out, Liquid Death, right there. I like Liquid Death. Actually, I quite love Liquid Death. I have it in my house. Stop, Brad. I'll stop right now, okay?
Why are you spending that money on Liquid Death, man? Let's get a $20 membership. Or
I should do it. I should do it.
Donation and help
I got you.
Out.
I got you. Don't you worry about it. I'll get something squared away. I will do that. Yeah, just let me get some time later today, and I'll go on your website and figure out how to do a $20 donation. No problem.
Yeah,
I got you.
We have the big button up there for donating, and it goes, even just a little bit goes a far way, a long way with us, just to keep our mission moving forward. And and keeping that therapy, community, and accessibility for all our veterans and active duty members.
Perfect. And when I see you guys completing this in Kansas, I'm going to say my $20 was the tipping iceberg that completed all of this.
Yep.
Okay. Yes. And I will have that sense of like ownership of and pride of you doing this. I think that goes a long way too on the inside. So, you know, you've been a wonderful interview and person to have on the show and a guest. You know, I want to say friend. You know, I want to let my
friends forever, Rad.
100%, Peter. And I just want to let my listener and my viewer know that we just met today. Like you and I didn't have any. I didn't send you any questions. We just seriously just had
you
a
had
real.
to resend me the link just so we could talk.
Yes, and I was like, no problem, dude. It's like we just wanted to have a conversation, and I want to show you that you can have a normal conversation with somebody and not get at each other's throats in this day and age, right? We can actually communicate with one another about something common, right? You notice we just said, hey, motocross. That can just bring everybody together, okay? So remember that when you look at our military servicemen and women, they have something all in common that lets them think about one thing, and that is the U.S. before the Army, before the Marines, before the Coast Guard. U.S. It says U.S. right there. And so that's the team we're all on here, okay? And to my coalition of friends that are around the world, we love you, and we're here for you as well. And so just, you know, look into Veteran Motocross if you're out there, you know?
We do actually have other countries that guys that have served in other countries. And we always say this, as long as you're one of our allies,
right,
you can be a part of our group.
That's right.
But if you're not one of our allies,
show yourself. Show yourself now. Step forward.
But yeah, man, it's all about love and respect for each other, and this world needs a lot more of that nowadays.
I agree, and I think that this is the perfect way to wind down our show. I've had you for an hour and captivated our audience with motocross and your humbling story of trials and tribulations and sadness, and all in the name of, you know, of America. So thank you. I appreciate that. I know our listener does. And on behalf of everybody here at SOFREP, Peter Linquist of VeteransMX.com, 501c3, looking for any endowment you might want to bestow upon him, or if you just want to enlist in the ranks of the Veterans MX for $20, you can go donate as a military personnel to help others out there achieve a sense of freedom again. Okay, because that's what it is. When I go out snowboarding, I'm just like, it's me and not dying. My wife follows, she's not dying. It's us trees. Trees don't move. Trees don't move. You got to move around the trees. So be careful out there, and check out our book club at sofrep.com/book-club. Check out the merch store. And please, again, if you're considering joining the military, take a step into the recruiter's office and just say, hey, how's it going? What can you do for me? Just say, what can you do for me? Because it's about you at the end of the day. And that's what makes us the best military in the world, is we're volunteer. Okay? So let's keep it that way. And if you're on the fence, check it out. And if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram. And I'm sure that you can reach out to Peter at veteranmx.com and say, hey, I saw you on SOFREP. I have a question about your organization. Feel free to do so. And thanks again, Peter, for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
A true pleasure.
It's been wonderful. And again, I just want to say thanks to everybody that listens. And this is Rad saying peace.
You've been listening to SOFREP Radio.